Hello and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann. I am so glad that you are here. Let's jump right in to our journal today. It is day 20 in Junk Journal July. I'm not sure how we're already to the 20th of July, but according to this, the prompt is 20 lyrics. And I have to admit, I did a little more planning for this one than I typically do. And that is because my original idea was to take some lyrics and to do some, I think the word's asemic writing, where you write sort of sloppy and you don't necessarily worry about it. And the pen that I really wanted to use is defunct. And so I tried a different pen and I just don't like it. So I had to give some thought to what else I could do to incorporate lyrics into my journal entry. This is the page that I want to use. And I have figured out what I want to do. And so I've got some bits and pieces, or at least a start of what I'm going to do on the page here. I'm actually going to set all of this aside because I need to make my focal point first. And that's actually, the focal point is actually where I'm going to end up incorporating the lyrics. Oops, I don't need this either. So I'm going to do a little bit of watercolor. And I'm using this stencil here. I'm gonna do this girl, I think maybe this way. The stencil's from Megan Quinlan. I really like her stencils, and this is not a very fancy technique that I'm going to use. I'm actually going to do two different ones and then decide which I like better when I'm done. So the first thing I'm going to do is just with my micron, this is an 01, I'm just going to trace her, and then on this one I'll use the watercolors to kind of color her in. And then on the other one, I'm actually going to use the watercolors to create the outline. And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. All right, and then we're here. Then we'll follow this around. Okay, like so. Now, obviously, it's not connected. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I will connect all the broken spots with my pen so that I have my outline. So there's one. I probably should have gone all the way down, but again, that's okay. We'll pretend that's her hair, and maybe we'll let it go like that. Okay, so this is girl number one, and I'm going to add a little bit of dimension there, and we'll leave her for now. Then I'm going to switch this around so that I can do girl number two. And for this one, because of kind of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to use this blue tape to hold this down so she doesn't scooch a whole lot. And I'm sure there's probably like an official way that you're supposed to do this. This works for me, so I'm good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually use the watercolors to outline her, and then I'll go back in subsequently and paint her. So I do need a brush, and no, that's not round. I'm trying to find a round brush. Okay. So I am going to use the black to do this. It's a little wetter than I had wanted it to be. So the advantage of doing things this way is that it looks a little more painterly because the edges are watercolored, but you still have the advantage of the stencil kind of helping to define things. And I think I'm just gonna go around the outside. Just a tiny bit more water there. Okay. All right, so now I'm done with the stencil. So I can take up the blue tape, yikes, and you can see this is definitely more painterly looking than the other one. And again, I don't really know that either one is better or worse. It's just a matter of preference, and I'm honestly not 100% sure yet which one I'm going to go with. I do need to, just like the other one, connect these lines. And then, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play first with this one because I want to let this dry, and then with the other, and kind of create both of them and then decide which one I prefer, and then I'll go ahead and move to the rest of the page. I don't know how long this is going to take me, and I'm really trying to keep these videos down to 30 minutes. And I am not a watercolor artist by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm not going to film this part. I might pop in as I go to show you a few things, but I think I'm just going to paint and then I'll come back. All right, so quick update. I worked on the first one and then I started the second one and decided that even though I didn't dislike it, I didn't like it nearly as much as this. So I'm gonna go the watercolor route. I've got a first layer down. I love the way that this turned out here and at the very bottom. I think what I'm going to do is let this dry and then come back over it with some colored pencils to help things pop a little bit more, and then I think I should be good to go. All right, so here we go. I've used the colored pencils just to add a little bit more texture and color to my girl, and I think now I'm ready to go ahead and cut her out. Actually, I'm gonna use, oh my goodness. Use these. So like I said, I will keep this girl. I'll find a use for her somewhere. I just I don't think she's not really what I was kind of going for. And she is. So I'm gonna go ahead now. Again, just like when I fussy cut, I'm gonna leave a little bit of a border around this. Even though in some cases the watercolor kind of bled onto the background, I don't mind that. I prefer it. I think it draws attention to the fact that this is something that's handmade. It's not something that was purchased. And I think that adds a lot of charm to a journal when you've got something that's made by hand. And if it's made by your hand, even better. But I also don't think there's anything wrong with including something that was created by somebody else. It's your journal, and if you found it and you like it and it makes your heart happy, then it absolutely belongs in your journal. You're not making it for anybody other than yourself. And so, you know, go for it. Include that little bit of something that was created by another person's hand in your journal. Not only are you capturing things that speak to your heart, that you find interesting or compelling or beautiful, but in some way you are creating a connection between yourself and the other person by including them in your journal. And I wasn't sure if it was possible, but I think now that I see her cut out, I love her even more. All right, so she's pretty awesome. So give me a moment to clean this mess up, bring my journal back, and then we'll look at assembling the page. So full disclosure, cleaning up meant that I took all of my colored pencils and put them on the pencil roll that I keep them in, and they're sitting on the floor behind me. So I will deal with actually putting them away later. So before I sat down to do the video, I did a little bit of playing, and I pulled these three pieces. I just thought they were sort of interesting together, and I wanted to echo some of the colors that I saw here, but not necessarily make it matchy-matchy. And so this is what I came up with, and I drew the colors that I used here from these pieces. And then I just grabbed this because I thought it was interesting, and I don't know if I will use it, but I liked this darker brown, so I just grabbed a hold of it. So my initial thought was that this would make a super cool tab over on the other page, and that then I could glue things underneath of it to create a little bit of an interesting background, like kind of like so. And so I think I'm going to go that route. I'm definitely going to glue this yellow piece down, and go ahead and grab that first. I do like this here. I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue back here so that I can keep this where it is, and I'm going to put a little bit of a registration mark right here so I can find that location again, and maybe another mark here and here. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I want to try one more thing just to set her off a little bit. So let me do some gluing real quick here. So I'd like to mark these registration marks just really small, because I feel like when I do that, I get things kind of back more where I want them. Now I am not gluing this or this all the way to the edge. This is a kind of a favorite technique of mine, to let things sit up just a little bit, because I think it adds some texture and some interest to my page. All right, so I could put this here and stop, but I feel like there needs to be something more, and I still am trying to figure out how to get this on the page because I love this wood, and I thought maybe I could use this almost this way, kind of like almost like a band, and actually maybe even let it tear off the page just a little bit. I don't mind the lettering being there. So maybe like so, my real scientific method of measuring. Make a fold and tear it off. Glue that here like so. Yeah, that works for me. All right, let's go ahead, and again, I'll make just a quick registration mark so I know where I want to put it. And then, now this one I do want to stay glued down. The edges really aren't torn, and I don't think they're all that interesting. I just really want the contrast. I did accidentally glue on here a little bit, so let me grab a piece of wax paper to put underneath of that so that it doesn't stick to the page. If it sticks to anything, it sticks to the wax paper. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this needs to be a little bit more crumpled. Maybe like that. And then it needs one more thing, I think here. All right, so I randomly was just flipping through my stuff to see what I had here, and I grabbed this and tucked it behind, and I kind of like it. I like that. I think it adds a little bit of something, so she's just not there by herself. Feather is probably too much, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, it's too much, but I think this is just enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and gonna mark where I want it. That won't be seen, so I went ahead and used the marker because I don't think the pencil's going to show up. I'm definitely going to use the art glitter glue on this because it's thick, and again, as I'm turning pages, this is going to take some stress, and the art glitter glue will help hold it down better than the glue stick will, even though the glue stick is really fabulous. So I'll go ahead and get that in place. And then I think with her, I'm just gonna put glue in her center section here. and not worry about her head or the bottom here. Just let it again kind of pop up. All right. So I don't think I mentioned this lyric, which is the prompt for today, comes from a song by Matthew West, and I've been playing it a little bit on repeat lately, and so I thought that would be appropriate to include. I'm going to grab my pen again and just do a little bit of tracing around this element here. Just to connect it a little bit to this. So it's got some of the same black on it, and yeah, I think that works. I just need to make my label and put that on the page. All right, so I have my label here for lyric, and my original thought was to put it down here, which is kind of what I've been doing with most of the other pages, but then I thought it might be kind of fun to stick it right there and let the label be part of the page. So that is what I'm going to do, a little departure this time. I don't want it right in the crease because I don't want it to get caught in the fold. A little too far in. It disappears a bit. That's okay. All right, so there we go. A little bit of texture, a little bit of, I guess this is multimedia, a little bit of collage, which is probably my go-to, and yeah, we're done. Hope you had a good time. I definitely did, and I will see you next time. Until then, make a great day. Goodbye.